So we are now welcoming our next speaker, who's Gabriele Giammatteo, and Gabriele will tell us about ETICS, which stands for Quality Certification in Open Source Cloud Software.
Good afternoon, everybody. In this presentation, I will present a tool which is called ETICS, and that we are using for certification of quality in some open source project. And I will also talk about a research project which is called Ocean. It's about open source cloud components, and I will say something on how we are going to use these two tools together to improve the quality of open source cloud components. So starting from the issue we want to address, many times it happens that components, open source components developed within a research project are abandoned at the end of the project because there is no one that is going to support that components. Usually they don't have enough documentation, they have been developed without a clear development process, they don't use standards, project structure, or they don't have a standard packaging system. For instance, I don't know, in my experience, many times it happens that it's really hard to find the distribution packages for some software which are all the versions that have been released, the features of each version, and so on. So all these factors lead to low quality in general software, which is really difficult to reuse and to evolve, and so we think the ETICS is a system for building, testing, packaging of software, and we believe that it can be used and to evaluate the quality of open source software, and also to hopefully improve the quality, because it encourages and promotes the use of standard processes for the development, but also for the building, testing, and the release process. And also try to evaluate the quality of a software by collecting data, by running some testing tool that collect some metrics from the source code of the project. It can be used by developers, for instance, to build and test their components, but it can also be used by release manager or project manager to have at glance view, a clear view of the status of the project in terms of quality. So the main features, it is a build and test server, like a continuous integration server. You can submit build on demand, or can be run on daily basis or on a scheduled basis. We have an infrastructure where actually all the builds are executed. As I said, there is a dependency management system, so you don't have only your component, you can specify the dependencies of your components, and ETICS will manage these dependencies. So when you build and test your component, all the dependencies are processed also. There is an automatic creation of distribution packages depending on the platform on which the build is executed. And okay, next thing is really easy to extend it, because it's entirely based on plugins. I will show later on something. It's really independent from programming language, in the meaning that we can build software which has been written in different languages, like Java, of course, is the most used, but we have also components in Python or in C, C++, and so on. It's independent from the platform, because you can you can submit builds targeting different platforms, Linux platform, for instance, of course, we have Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Ubuntu, but also Solaris and also Windows if needed. So ETICS also has a repository, a central repository, which is used where all the reports and the packages generated during the process are uploaded and are stored there for analysis. And we have also, the main access point is a web portal where you can see the configuration of your components and everything. So this is the overall architecture. We have web services, that it's the core of the system. We have the persistency part where, as I said, the repository where all the builds are stored, and some other persistency database to store the configuration of the different modules. So we have a web portal, which is the main user access point. Here the user can create new components, specify the dependencies, the commands of each component, and submit new build and test. And we have also a command line, of course, client, which is really used for schedule builds on a daily basis, for instance. And we have a pool of machine, which is the core of the ETICS infrastructure. Each machine actually runs different platform, and ETICS use this machine to actually execute remotely the code, the build and test of your component. Okay, so speaking about the main concept of the building process, we have the predefined targets, the usual target you will find in any building tool. You define the commands needed to build, to execute the task for your components, and that will execute during the build. You can specify dependencies, let's say. Dependencies can be dependency on other components of the same project. They can be dependency on external software, like, I don't know, Apache libraries or something like that. It can be dependencies specific for the platform, the system platform. So if your component use the Qt libraries, you can specify this dependency, and ETICS will make sure that on the machine where the build is executed, the Qt library is installed, or it will install it. There is a built-in packaging system where, automatically, depending on the platform where the build is run, automatically generate distribution packages. They can be RPM packages for I don't know, for Fedora or Red Hat distribution. They will be Debian packages for Ubuntu, for instance. Okay, so this is some screenshot to show how to submit a build from the web portal, just to have a quick show. So you can submit a new build. You have a form for the submission with all options, but usually the default are fine. And here, very important, you can select one or more platform as a target platform for your component. And when you submit, ETICS will select the machines accordingly with the platform you specified, and will run the build on. There is an agent on the machines that actually execute the build. You can monitor the status of the build and the progress of the build from this interface here. But as I said at the beginning, mostly in this presentation, the focus is mostly on quality assurance and not only on building. And ETICS actually is able to run some plugins just before the build or just after the build. And this plugin generally executes some testing tool. We are able, for instance, to execute unit testing. ETICS is able to discover test suite in the code and activate unit testing plugins. Can execute static analysis tool to gather some metrics from the source code, the quality of the code, and also functional testing. If you have custom testing script, and multi-node testing, which is a modality where ETICS can allocate different machines for your test, and you can do tests that involve different machines and involve network communication. So very briefly, this is usually, as I said, the plugins are just a wrapper around a well-known testing tool. So we have some very well-known testing tool. For instance, for unit testing, you have JUnit, PyUnit, CPP-Unit. We have also some static analysis tool like FindBug for Java, or CheckStyle to check the Java doc documentation, something like that. And we are always trying to find new plugins to new testing tool to integrate in the tool. For instance, yesterday I was talking with the guys from who presented Cliff, and we found which is could be really easy to actually and really. So this is just very shortly the reports generated by the ETICS. We have all the modules that are built and all the logs from the console. Here we have the packages browser. You can select and download packages. And really interesting, ETICS can also generate, for instance, a YAM repository. So you can take this link, put on your machine and do yum install my package, and it will be installed directly from the build. For the QA, we have, this is the reports from the different plugins. Each plugin has its own reports, but ETICS also generates some aggregated view of these metrics. Like a sort of dashboard to see over the time how the quality, how the measure for a given metric changed in the project. So now about OCEAN. OCEAN is a European project. It's a support action, just started. We had the kickoff last month, and it will run for 2 years. The main objective of OCEAN is to build a catalog of open source cloud components. Many projects in the last years developed open source cloud components, but at the moment, today, there is no central catalog where you can go and see the list of components classified by category and with some information about the projects and so on. So we are going to build this catalog. There is a metadata associated for each component, for instance, licenses, authors, project in which the component have been developed, project in which the components is being used, a relationship with other components, and so on, which standard the components implement, so if it's a component compliant with OCCI, and so on. We are going to use ETICS in OCEAN in the way that we offer the components, the project that join OCEAN to actually configure the component in ETICS. ETICS can run these plugins, evaluate, let's say, the quality of the, collect metrics for that component, and these metrics can be actually published on the catalog, so the user can have a very at-glance view of the status of the quality of the components. We are going also to define new aggregation, for instance, new metrics that are the aggregation of the fine-grained metrics, so let's say an evaluation for reusability or maintainability of the component. And we are also thinking about implementing some cloud-specific plugins for ETICS, as I said, specific for cloud components. We are still thinking about this. We are trying to understand which aspects of components valuable for cloud components specifically. But for instance, could be a plugin that checks the compliance with some standard like OCCI, or plugins that run some benchmark of components so that you can compare different components that do the same thing also on the performance basis. Okay, this was the last slide. This is some reference, my email. If you want to try ETICS, there is the webpage, the portal. And if you want more information about Ocean, you have the website here. You can, we didn't start yet to accept, let's say, new components because we are still building the catalog software, but you can register to the mailing list and to be informed on the status of the project. And you are very welcome if you want to join this project.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.